Hi, I'm Zitali, and in this video I'll be drawing my pet Biddy in the style of Root, which is a board game which has recently also been made into an RPG. So the first thing I will be doing is trying to find the right style brush, because this style sort of has like this very sort of like ballpoint pen sort of look to the line art, and the colouring has a fairly distinctive texture, so I just feel around with the brushes for a bit before I settle on a brush and I start the sketch for my character. So at the moment I'm using my favorite bamboo brush to do the sketch, but I will be switching to the pencil H to actually do the line art for this, and later on I believe it's the chalk brush I use for coloring the actual color, like shading it itself. Biddy is my pet cat, and she's going to be the character in this. She's a black and white cat who is super friendly, always loves to be cuddled. You can give her belly rubs for days and she'll never say no to that. She'll never do the kicking thing that cats do when they want you to stop. She'll have that forever. She's really affectionate. She's a really strange cat. I think she's actually half dog. I have two cats. Biddy is my newer cat. She's 9 years old, and then I have an older cat whose name is Shorty, and she's like 13 now, but she's just a brick that lays on the floor now. She doesn't really do much. She's fairly inactive now in her older years. I might draw Shorty as in the Root style as well at some stage, like make her like either a cranky older cat, or maybe I'll draw her in her youth when she was really active and would like climb the walls. She was a rat bag for sure. Because I really like this style, and this board game, when it first came out, me and my husband, we played it a lot and we really loved it, but we haven't really played it much recently. But the role play game stuff just sort of finished its Kickstarter, and we have the book for it, so I was kind of looking at stuff and getting excited about maybe playing the game a bit. And so I decided I was going to draw my pets in this style. So here's Biddy. She's precious. Everybody has to love Biddy. If you meet Biddy, you will fall in love with her. Even my husband, he says he doesn't like cats. I catch him cuddling her secretly all the time. She just loves to be cuddled, and she has this tiny little meow, which is why she's called Biddy, because she's got the tiny meow. I wonder if I can get her to meow for us now. Biddy. Biddy. Say hello, Biddy. Biddy. There we go. You get to hear itty bitty kitties meow. They're right, Biddy. Anyway, enough talking about my cats. So yeah, this was a fun challenge. This picture didn't actually take me that long to do. It only took me like an hour and a half, and a lot of it was actually fiddling around with brushes for ages, trying to figure out the right brush to use to get the right texture, which I'm at that stage now where I've tried to decide what brush to use to shade in the black into the whites. I think I'm actually using a fuzzier brush to begin with, and then I find out later which one gives the right texture. Yeah, so I used the pastel brush to begin with, and then later I discovered that the texture for the chalk brush is actually much better to get the right texture I want. I also use a photograph as a texture near the end to give the whole picture a texture, which is just a photograph of cement I took myself. Collecting photographs for texture is actually kind of fun to do. I do feel like I should use textures a lot more than I do. And I do actually like taking photos. I actually took quite a lot in my early days of art. I'd go around and I'd consider myself to be an arty photographer, and I'd just take close-up pictures of stuff, and I thought it was cool. I still like some of the stuff that I've taken photos of, but I certainly see the value in taking photos for texture purposes, because adding textures to things can make, like, it can pull the whole image together, and it gives it a certain feel. And certainly with this style, there is a certain feel to it. There's a texture. It almost feels like real media, like it looks like they've used a biro for the line art and that it's drawn on actual paper. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case or not, or if they've just done what I've done, which is use brushes that mimic that style. But it's a cute style overall, no matter which way they've done it. I really like the look of it. And I think I'll probably draw more of these because it was really fun to do and it was really quick. And I really like how it looks. Yeah, so let me know if you think I should do more root characters. I have pets. I have lots of pets I can use. I've got 2 dogs as well, which are Shetland sheep dogs, which are kind of like mini lassies. So I could draw. They could be drawn in this style. My cats. I've had lots of other pets in the past. I could always draw in this style. Or if people have their own pets, let me know if you like it and you want to see more. If you prefer that I just stick to drawing dragons. Don't worry, I'll still be drawing dragons. I'll always be drawing dragons. They're like my favorite thing in the world to draw. But like if you'd like to see more variety, like more different things rather than just dragons all the time, then let me know what you think. And if you have any suggestions for what I will draw, what you want me to draw next, I'm open to suggestions. Now I'm just fixing up this line art. So the line art that they use actually has different colors all through it. So what I did with this is a very rare circumstance in which I used pure black for the original line art for this. And then I've locked the layer so you can't draw anywhere but on the lines that I've drawn. And I've just selected the colors I wanted and colored over those parts of the lines. So, you know, I've got white and colored over where it needs to be white and just mix in the other colors. And in some places it's sort of like sort of transitions to another color. So I've just got like a big blurry brush to transition the colors from like blue to black or whatever it is that I needed to do. I've now switched to, I believe I've switched to the chalk brush to do the final sort of color shadings here. So just adding a bit more texture using the brush. And in a moment I will be using my photograph to add more texture to the picture. So I'm just getting it from my gallery and I just sort of put it on the page on its own layer, and then I change the properties of the layer so that it adds texture to it. I just need to rearrange some of I wanted the texture to be smaller, so I just rearranged it so the texture's smaller before changing the property to a multiply property. And you can see now that there's a bit of texture on the white parts instead of it just being a solid flat color, which I do think adds something to it. When I went to save this, I accidentally saved it without the texture on. I turned it off and then I saved it, and then when I was looking at it later I was like, this doesn't seem as good as it was before. What have I missed? And I realized it was the texture. I forgot to put the texture back on. So I do think the texture really helps bring this whole thing together, and without it, it still looks like the root style, but it's not quite as close as it is with the texture. And I'm just doing a super simple background. I just kind of threw some brown here, and then I decided it was a touch too lazy just to have it brown, and so I added some details to it. And add a little bit of grass and a bit of sky in there so that my true laziness doesn't come through in my drawing. I then realized that the color of the boots perfectly blended in with the color of the ground, so I decided to change it, and I'm really happy with the color I chose in the end. I just used a hue saturation to change it to like a blue purple instead of like a brown green, and I think it really helped. I think it looks way better with the bluey purple boots. Well, anyway, this is pretty much done. I did actually fix the eye. It was a little bit off, so I fixed the eye last minute, but I didn't have a recording of me doing the last touch up, but this is the finalized picture. Well, thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me a like, and if you want to see more, then subscribe to my channel. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to support me. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!